Hi guys, Celestia here. It's kind of another gray, gloomy, dismal day here. Oh, excuse me. So I thought I would continue with part 7. This particular part is called King of the Forest. And this will be the formal introduction to the Black Unicorn and his mate. At the end of part 6, the Black Unicorn was on the far side of the pyre that held Doric's body. And around from behind came Cecilia. And the two of them approached Valar. And Cecilia placed her hand on Valar's arm and he reacted. She said, "It's me, Valar, my friend." He said, that's not possible, you're dead. He said, "My body is dead, my vessel is dead." She said, "But thanks to the magic of my friend, the Black Unicorn, you will be able to continue to talk to me as long as my ashes are safe." Valar says, I don't understand, and I'm not sure I believe what you're telling me." She says, "You must." She said, "The lives of the clan, the lives of Glyneth and Fig and of Cecilia depend on you believing me." So, what do you mean? She said, "I don't have much time, Valar." She said, "I am temporarily possessing Cecilia's body, and I have been for a while. And she grows weaker by the moment. Just know that there are horrible things coming. And you must be prepared. The entire clan must be prepared." He says, I don't understand." She said, "I know you don't." She said, "But my ashes are going to be an important role in this. That's why I want it to be burned rather than buried." She said, the Black Unicorn will explain all this to you. I don't have time." He says, "But how do I know it's really you?" She said, the fireflies above everyone's head. She said, darting in and out, making it look like a starry night. Flowers everywhere, the petals, the smell. I said, "Doric, it truly is you." He said, How is this possible? You must tell me." She said, "I don't have time, Valar." She said, "You must take Cecilia to Rowan and Mead. You have to. And after she is there, and after she is safely installed with them, you must get Fig there as well." He said, "Fig? What does Fig have to do with this?" She said, "I don't have time, Valar." She said, "I know you have questions, but I can't answer them right now. But he can answer them for you. He knows as much about this as I do." He says, all right. She said, "I'm leaving Cecilia's body after I climb up on his back. You need to help me up there, please." So he gives her a leg up. She says, "We have to go now. Now, Valar, now." He says, okay. They get to the bottom of the tree, and Rowan and Mead are there. And they said, "We'll take it from here. You need to go with him. He will explain everything to you, Chief Valar. She'll be fine with us. You must do exactly as he tells you if we are to survive this. Because," she says, "if you don't, I fear we're doomed." He said, "Oh, Mead, She said, I'm not being dramatic, Chief Flar. She said, Dorg has been visiting people in their dreams. She said, the elders, myself, Rowan. She said, I think even Fig and Cecilia, you must do what he tells you to do in order to ensure our survival. He says, very well. They lift Cecilia from the back of the black unicorn after he kneels. She said, Rowan said, you must go now. You must go. Please. She's safe with us. We've got her. You must go now. Okay. So he looks at the black unicorn. He said, you lead and I will follow. Nods. They walked for a little while. 10, 15 minutes maybe. Flar lost track. And he came upon another grove. Thick in the thickest part of the forest. There was an opening. A beautiful meadow. It was an opening of the trees. There was flowers. And there, sitting in the middle, was an absolutely gorgeous white unicorn. In his head, he hears, this is my mate. Flar nods to her. She nods back. He said, I know that you're full of questions. He said, I can only imagine what you must be thinking. He said, I highly doubt that. He said, I always thought that the two of you were just myth, just legend. He said, I never dreamed in 100 years that you were actually real. He said, but I can't disbelieve what I'm seeing with my own two eyes. He said, I can't not hear what I'm hearing in my head. He said, is that how I will communicate with you? He said, no, you will talk to me and I will hear you when we are close. He said, when we're farther apart, he said, you just have to say my name or think my name and I will hear you. He said, I don't want to sound arrogant. He said, but my mate and I are much more powerful creatures than you can ever imagine. He said, and we are fully devoted to your clan. He said, not simply because of Dorg. He said, we would have, just for her, on her account. He said, but we're devoted to your clan because of what you've done for the magical creatures in Gren Forest. He said, you came here and saw wrong that needed to be righted, and you did it. No one asked you to, you just did it. He said, that speaks volumes. He said, yes, I am the king of the forest. He said, I am in charge of the creatures here. He said, four-legged, two-legged, he said, trees, plants, he said, it doesn't matter. They all respond to me. He said, your daughter Fig. He said, what an amazing young woman she is. She gets it. She uses her abilities to better herself and her clan. Not necessarily even herself, I shouldn't say that. He said, it makes her sound arrogant. He said, please, Flar says, please. He said, I'm sorry. He said, after Cecilia's outburst, you took her, put her to bed, and she slept, correct? He said, yes. He said, the reason she slept was because Dorg was already dead and in possession of her body. she was using her mind to search for me and for my mate. And when she found us, we merged minds, and I saw what she saw. She said, in Chief Pilar, what is coming is horrid, malicious. It's malignant. He said, and if we don't all pull together, he said, we will all perish. He said, you must arm the clan. He said, but not with weapons. He said, my mate is going to approach your mate, and together they will make amulets for the entire clan, and they are to wear them. They will be imbued with unicorn magic to help protect them from what's coming. If they lose it, if they take it off because they don't believe it, they will succumb. This thing feeds off minds, energies, life force. He said, I've never, ever even imagined there was anything like this. Pilar said, you're frightening me. He said, you should be. He said, I'm terrified, and so is my mate. He said, unicorns are not immortal, but we live longer than elves do, and the two of us are terrified. He said, also, my mate is going to fashion some magical containers, very small containers, that you will put some of Doric's ashes in, and you will wear it with the amulet. And that way you will always have a piece of Doric with you, and you will always be able to communicate with her. And we will make sure of that. He said, when the pyre has cooled down, my mate and I will separate Doric's human ashes from the wood ashes, and we will bring it to you. And we will tell you then what to do with it. He said, the two of us are responsible for the Heartstone, along with some of the other magical creatures. He said, there will be a very large influx of magical creatures coming because they're running from this thing. He said, it could be one thing. He said, it could be many things. He was like, it's completely, he said, I'm unsure. He said, there is one for certain. He said, but there could be many. He said, there could be a whole group, a herd, a tribe. I don't know what they are. He said, but I know there is at least one, and it frightens me. He said, you must also know, Chief Pilar, that the elder, Elfinor, the ex-elder, he said, Pilar says. He said, whatever. She is a danger to you, to your family, to the clan, and to Cecilia. However, Mead and Rowan will protect Cecilia, and also protect Fig. They're more powerful than you know. And you must also know, Pilar, if I may call you that. He nods. He said, you may call me Ebony, and this is my mate, Snow. He said, our names are too long and unusual for you to pronounce. He said, and we give it to no one. He said, we give our real names to no one. So you may call me Ebony, and you may call my mate Snow. He said, very well. He said, Elfinor has gone mad. Her thirst for power has done her in. Father said, I was afraid of that. He said, what you should really be afraid of is that her being able to get through to other members of the clan with that vile tongue of hers. She's going to try and turn people against Cecilia, against you, your wife, and your daughter, and probably the other elders as well. She's going to try and make you out to be the enemy. You may have to outcast her. He said, I don't want to do that unless it's an absolute last resort. He said, then you must talk to her. He said, and be prepared for the madness. He said, you must tell your mate that snow will be coming, that they will fashion the amulets together. Here, she will bring her here. But only you and your family will know of this place. No one else must ever know. He said, you have my word. He said, that's good enough for me. He said, despite all of the bad things that are coming, Doric has also seen good things. The growing affections between Eldred and Fig. He is extremely loyal to you. Use him to keep her safe, to help keep Glyneth safe when you're not with them. He said, you're going to have an empty room in your home because Cecilia won't be there. Move him in there. He's young, he's strong, and he's powerful. Valar said, this is just so much to take in. He said, my head is reeling. He said, let me help you with that. He said, come to me. I said, okay. He said, I don't normally let people do this, but he said, put your hands around my horn. He said, and I will concentrate if you will concentrate, and we will try and make things, sort these things out as best we can together. Valar does just that. And suddenly everything makes sense. He sees what Doric saw. He knows what Doric knew. And he's frightened. He said, you need to do this after he breaks contact. He said, you need to do this with Fig and Glyneth as well. He said, I understand. He said, but they can do it with snow. He said, I don't allow women to touch me. He said, the only one that has ever touched me was Doric. He said, she's much more gentle than I am. He said, I kind of bombarded you there. He said, yeah, you did. He said, feel like a wrecking ball has gone through my head. He said, but I understand everything. I get it. He said, I can't believe that Elthanor has finally gone over the edge. He said, I was afraid for her. Saw it coming. But I hoped I was wrong. He said, you weren't wrong. He said, I'm sorry, but you were not wrong. He said, she needs to be dealt with, and quickly. He said, I need to take care of the clan first. He said, my mate and your mate must make the amulets, and I must take care of them first. He said, if necessary, he said, I will destroy Elthanor. He said, I don't want to, but I will. He said, very well. Ebony said, now you must go home. Take Fig to Rowan and Mead and bring your mate here. He said, and I agree with you that the clan must be protected first. He said, but it wouldn't hurt you to arm them with weapons as well. He said, know that there are members of your clan who are weak-minded. That Elthanor's message will get through to them, and they may have to be dealt with as well. He said, I foresee a great uprising. I said, yes, I saw that as well. He said, I will go and do as you say. Ebony walks over and lays down next to his mate, and Villar leaves the grove. As he's walking through the sacred grove, he hears a voice behind him saying, so where have you hidden the murderer, Villar? And he turns to see Elthanor. He said, I don't have time to talk to you about this right now, Elthanor. He said, I'm still reeling from Doric's death. She said, which you caused. He said, I caused it. Really? She said, yes, you caused it. If you had killed that human like you should have, like the rabid dog that it is, Doric would still be alive. It's your fault, Villar. He said, you're entitled to your opinion, Elthanor. He said, but I'm not going to be baited by you. He said, I know you expect me to react, but I'm not going to be baited by you. He said, you need to go and see the healer, Elthanor. She said, why? I'm not sick. He said, no, you're right. You're not sick, not in your body. He said, but your mind. He said, I worry for your sanity, Elthanor. She says, you should be worried about your life, Villar. I am not the only one who feels that this human is a cancer in our clan that needs to be cut out. Villar said, bring it on, Elthanor. Try it. He said, you won't just lose your title as elder. He said, you could lose your home, your possessions, your clan, and at the very least, he said, at the very most, you could lose your life. He said, because if you ever come at me, Elthanor, he said, you will be the rabid dog that gets put down. She said, I am not afraid of you. I never have been. He looked at her in a very calm, tranquil way. He said, then you're a fool. And you should be. And that, my friends, is the end of part 7. Don't know whether I gave you enough information about the Black Unicorn, but the Black Unicorn is going to be now a staple in the story, as was hinted at. Excuse me. Things are heating up. They haven't quite come to a head yet, but they're getting there. So stay tuned, my friends, for more of this. And I hope you are enjoying it. And I thank you so much for your wonderful comments. It warms my heart to know that you are enjoying this. So many of you comment almost immediately, and it gladdens my heart a lot. So until we get together next time for part 8, just remember to be good to yourself first and love your dollies.